Hello, and welcome to Jedi Marley, where we explore how to deliver innovative, data driven solutions while also balancing the soft skills that might be needed to engage with teams effectively. In this video, I plan to give an overview of the world of consulting and cover my personal experience of the key differences between the early years of consulting and the later years as you start to develop your professional expertise. I talk about pros, cons of consulting, and why I think it's such a valuable industry for anyone developing their career. So stay tuned, I hope you enjoy, and let me know any feedback in the comments. So let me just give a quick overview of myself here. So I'm Marley Shees, and I've been in the consulting industry for almost 7 years now. I play the role of the analytics practice lead at a consulting firm, leading all of the delivery operations for our analytics projects. But consulting has been such a transformational career for me and has given me so many different skills and opportunities to learn that I really look forward to sharing here today. It's been a journey that's shaped not just my career, but my ability to learn, grow, and most importantly, fail quickly in a safe and productive environment. The world of customer service certainly pushed me outside of my comfort zone, but it allowed me to develop skills that have translated into the world of technical consulting and working with people. Customer service quickly became my training ground. I was able to develop skills of dealing with people, of reading their needs, and most importantly, delivering solutions to their problems. All of which are necessary skills to being an effective consultant. Being the oldest of 5 siblings, I got a head start on developing problem solving skills and leadership. When I discovered consulting, I realized it's the perfect intersection between my technical interests and the soft skills and people management that I've been developing in the customer service industry. With all this talk about the consulting industry, we need to establish a baseline to make sure that we're all aligned on what the consulting industry is and the value that it delivers to its customers. Some of the key points to really understand about the consulting industry, we first need to talk about talent acquisition and retention. For most modern organizations, talent acquisition and more importantly, retention can be one of the most difficult challenges to maintaining the right team and the right experts to deliver solutions for the organization. And this is really where consulting firms are best positioned to bridge this gap, as they maintain a deep bench of seasoned professionals with a variety of experience across a number of clients, a number of industries, where they're really able to develop that knowledge across not just one use case or implementation of a solution, but a variety of those implementations to best understand the best practices and commonalities between those use cases. Another key piece here to really understanding the value that consulting firms bring is going to be in their inherent flexibility. Now, oftentimes, many clients don't need a technical resource for a full 40 hours each week. They may need someone at a reduced capacity, at something like, let's say, 10 or 20 hours a week, or for a shorter duration, let's say only 3 months out of the year, for activities such as maintenance or just a shorter MVP project before they evaluate to make sure that the technology is delivering the value that they're expecting. This really allows for that flexibility to deliver solutions at a cost effective rate without having to hire someone full time. Another benefit of consulting firms is their ability to tap into multiple different pricing models. Not only are you limited to resources or team members in the US or near where your company's office might be located, but you're able to get resources offshore or nearshore in areas such as Canada or Mexico. This really allows for a lot more flexibility in terms of the price of the team members that you're paying for. Again, going back to the point of talent acquisition, this is an incredibly challenging task for HR and hiring managers, but with consulting firms, they maintain that bench of resources to be able to deliver on these flexible models. For consulting organizations, the metric that matters most is customer satisfaction. A happy client means repeat business, trust, and a solid reputation in the industry. There's no reason that other businesses would continue working with this consulting firm if they don't have testimonials and customer references. It isn't something that you can get from every customer, and not every project is going to be a home run hit. But at the end of the day, a consulting firm cares most about delivering value for its customers and aligning those expectations to ensure that it's delivering value for the cost that they're charging. So, since it's most important for a consulting firm to maintain that customer experience, at the end of the day, they aren't trying to sell you a single product. There's nothing short term about their goals and initiatives. It is all about delivering success and value with their trusted experts. Starting out in the world of consulting is like stepping into a professional playground with endless opportunities. Since you aren't constrained to a single organization with its single projects and technical hurdles to overcome, you truly have an open seat to tap into so many different businesses because individual organizations by themselves are often unable to go and fuel the technical talent needed to support these projects. Here's a couple of key points of what makes the early years of consulting so exciting. There's so many different types of consulting. You don't have to solely be a technical consultant, nor do you have to be tied to one technology. Whether your personal interest is photography or videography or stage design or all of these different concepts, you can consult in anything that you consider yourself to be a professional in. Another key benefit of consulting is the exposure to variety. You aren't tied to one specific set of experiences. You're not working at a single company with a single mission statement that's tied to a sub vertical underneath the larger vertical. You are able to go in and get exposed to that variety of experiences to develop an understanding of best practices across all of those experiences. The consulting industry truly has its finger on the pulse of technology, unlike any other industry possibly could. In the consulting industry, you also do get a more tailored career path. You aren't tied to one specific organization with its mission statement and with its projects that it's looking to support. You are able to go and identify your personal balance between these soft skills and technical skills. So, whether you're someone who just loves working in code or someone that's really interested in understanding business problems and translating those to technical solutions, there is a niche for you to fill. In the consulting industry, you also get a lot of opportunity to explore interests. Since the world of technology is changing so fast, you do need to stay on the bleeding edge to be able to make the right recommendations for your customers. But this means that a portion of your time is often allocated to learning and development and to developing your skills, where many organizations will put you into a certain role and you will fill that role, you will do that work, but you don't necessarily get the opportunity to grow and evolve. Another exciting part of the early years of consulting is developing these soft skills. It is almost always a requirement to be client facing, to be verbal, and to be developing these skills to go and work in team based environments. You aren't solely going to be limited to talking with your internal teams. You're also going to have to go and drive presentations to collect feedback, to understand how to talk with clients that you don't work with on a day to day basis in the same way that you might be working with your internal teams. Ultimately, you'll be able to master skills like communication, team collaboration, and organization across a variety of workloads. To kind of wrap up my summary of just the key benefits of the early years of consulting, I really think you get this ability to explore and step outside of your comfort zone in a way that more mature organizations and larger organizations don't offer. Inherently, the consulting industry is incredibly flexible and allows for you to go and build your strengths in different areas and fail safely. As long as you're delivering value to clients at the end of the day, even while you may be developing soft skills, developing technical expertise in different areas, then you are meeting your job and your requirements in your role. I do want to make sure that I speak a bit about the later years of consulting because I don't think the early years are perfectly representative of the long term impact of working in the consulting industry. As you start to grow in consulting, your role becomes a bit more strategic, where you become this trusted advisor who has demonstrated expertise across a number of different projects. You've built your resume, people trust you. What else could go wrong? But as you become this go to person for solving complex problems, the buck eventually stops with you. And there is a lot of people looking up to you and ensuring that you have answers to their questions, questions that you don't always have answers to. And so, this increased level of responsibility is incredibly gratifying and also ensures that you are always staying on the bleeding edge of working to go and get those answers to questions you might not know the answers to right away. At this stage as well, you really start to develop long and lasting relationships, not only with the team members that you work with internally, but also the customers that you deliver this trusted advice to. These relationships often extend past just your time at that individual consulting firm. If you have a project manager who leaves, spins up his own company, he will remember you and reach back out. If you have a client that goes to a different organization, they may still reach out and come back if their experience with that new consulting firm is not living up to what they used to experience with you at the helm. But all of these varied experiences really make you a well rounded problem solver. Whether it's working with people and just understanding how to have a genuine conversation, even in a very difficult situation where timelines are missed, budgets are exceeded, all of these different problems, you do become this well rounded problem solver to understand how to go and help those around you and all work in a common direction. As you start to get to this later stage of consulting as well, there are a couple of cons that certainly become apparent. And I don't want to go and brush these off because they're by no means secretive or hidden and not readily apparent to those working in consulting. I'll start with the pace, where many people understand this about consulting. You are working at an aggressive pace from day one. If you are not someone who wants to, at minimum, clock in 40 hours of concrete work each week, then the consulting industry is likely not for you. This pace is something that really does develop so much learning and so much growth for those that are able to keep up with it. But at the same time, it does cause burnout. And it is something that we need to keep in mind as consulting professionals as we evolve in that career and keep an eye out, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Another area of contention for a lot of people in the consulting industry is this concept that the client always comes first. Now, this is a concept that I was first introduced to in the world of restaurants. What this means is you might be signing on to a client who has a mission and goals that isn't personally aligned with something that you may be interested in or even support. If your client is someone who's big into fracking, it can be difficult as someone who's a climate activist to try to go and understand the challenges that that business is solving without some of that becoming personal for you. I'm certainly of the mindset that if you talk about these things internally and try to make the best of the worst situation, then oftentimes your organization may be able to be flexible and find a place for you. But if they're not even willing to hear you out or understand where your contention points might be on this point, then I would say you're not being heard or listened to at your organization, and that's a bigger problem for any sort of satisfaction as an employee. But ultimately, if you're passionate about solving complex problems and enjoy the variety of work and hate the mundaneness of sticking to kind of one thing, then this might be the industry for you. It by no means is sunshine and roses every single day, but if you're able to get through that and understand the benefits that can come if you can work at this pace, consulting is deeply rewarding. Now, to wrap things up, the consulting industry offers a unique mix of stability, flexibility, and learning and growth opportunities that few other industries are able to support. For those just starting their careers, the consulting industry provides a front row seat to industries, technologies, and challenges that you might not be able to experience elsewhere. Consulting is an incredible launchpad, and I wholeheartedly recommend giving it a shot. So if you enjoyed this content at all, I ask that you consider hitting that subscribe button and giving me a follow, as I'm just getting started with this content. This is really my first full-length video, so expect a lot more like this. Expect completely different things because I expect it to change a lot over the months, if not years ahead. But my hope here is really just to start to build this portfolio of content and to continue to instill the information that I've done so far just for my professional work, but in some sort of public channel such as YouTube here. Until next time, where we continue to work to master the force of data-driven innovations.